All right, 6:30, so could I ask everybody to rise so we can pledge allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have any visitors here tonight? Would you please identify yourselves? Don't be bashful. Stand up and let us know who you are.
Hi, my name's James. My name is Jim Cropper. This is
Okay.
my wife, Jim Cropper.
Okay.
Call. We've been living here in Northport for 12, 13 years now, and heard about the neighborhood watch. We were involved with that up north before we came down.
Very good.
With our small little neighborhood, and we decided to come by and see what it's all about.
Very good. Pleased to have you here. Thank you. Tonight also we want to welcome a new member to the fold, Mr. Bolson. Ed Bolson has completed the academy, did his ride along, made all the requirements. Unfortunately, we didn't meet all ours. We have your signs, clipboard for you, and your ID. Your shirt will be in your possession. Your uniform will be in your possession shortly. Okay. Welcome. Are there any comments, non-agenda related comments to come before the membership tonight? All right, if not, we'll call the meeting to order. I have 6:32. First thing on the agenda is a reminder, there is no meeting next month. Please remember that. No July meeting. There will be a block captain meeting right after this, immediately following this meeting, time permitting. You're all welcome to stay if you wish. Block captains won't mind, I'm sure. If this meeting doesn't run too long, we agreed to meet and discuss a few things. At this time, we will approve the minutes of the May meeting unless there's any objections. Don't forget, they're always posted on our website. All you got to do there is go there and you can listen to the entire meeting online. So it's word for word, so it should be accurate. So unless any objections from the membership, we will just accept those minutes.
I move that we accept the minutes.
Okay, we have, it was kind of a tie, and we have a second, okay. Mina and Keith moved, and Paul seconded. Does the Northport PD have anything to announce tonight or present tonight?
Sure, I'm sorry. I come up with something. I usually get projected. I can hear you. First off, in District 1, anybody who's over on that side, things have been relatively quiet for the month of May. Our main concern is burglaries. We had 10, but a lot of them weren't what you would, consider your traditional burglaries. We had a woman that went into a mother's house and stole her medication. Technically, she doesn't live there, so it's a burglary, but, family taking drugs from family, prescriptions isn't something that, really gets us worked up about, like somebody breaking into a stranger's house. We had an ex-wife come over to another guy's house and slap him and said she doesn't live there anymore, and she was inside the house. Again, that was technically a burglary, but not, the traditional things where somebody's breaking into stealing somebody's property. We had a couple of bicycles. Our only thing that was a little bit of a pattern was on Perennial, but it was in one day. We got a couple of fingerprints, we got a suspect, and everything quieted down after that. So pretty much the theme for you guys patrolling over in D1 is whatever you're doing, keep it up, because the visibility is working, and we have been, any burglary is bad, but we realistically know we're never going to be at zero. And the type that we're having, if we can call them pretty good, it really is. Yesterday morning, as part of this month, so it's not on this report, but, you know, when you have somebody actually breaking into an occupied house, those are the things that tweak us a little bit more, and, you know, but when they're met with a woman that's got a gun in her hand, and, yeah, I guess, you know, she told him what she had, and he kind of gave her a look like he didn't take her serious, and she ended that right then and there. He realized she was serious and took off. But, you know, those are the ones that really concern us a little bit more, but it's been pretty good.
Wait, around Miami thing, all I knew was she's getting around.
Yeah. Lieutenant Lorenz is actually celebrating his daughter's graduation today, a little belated. So he couldn't make it, but he just was basically passing on the same message that his side of the city is pretty quiet. You know, just keep up your visibility. He doesn't have any particular issues. If he did, he'd send me an email out, but there really hasn't been a patternized thing that we can tell you, go to this particular area and look for something. So, which is good, you know, if you really don't hear from us, that's not a bad thing. That's pretty much it on the burglary, which I know is our main thing. I was letting Rich know, just as a reminder, since you don't have next month's meeting, first Tuesday in August is National Night Out, and you guys usually participate in that, so I'm sure you'll be throwing something together. Guys worked through a little bit last year, so we'll keep that in mind again for you this year. What do you guys have for us?
Out of curiosity, on that shooting, because it was in the paper, did you catch the guy?
No. They thought they heard a car door, you know,
Right.
so there was nothing in back of them. By the time they ran the one lot to the car, they were probably on the interstate before, you know, we really got in the area. I mean, we had helicopters from as far away as Lee County came up, dogs on the ground, you know, we gave it the old college try, but I'm sure they were just long gone before we got into the area.
You have no idea what kind of car?
No, all they did was here. Now, she did give a description. We had a sketch artist come out, and he was able to do a description, which is put out, it was just disseminated today to other police agencies.
But no vehicle?
No, that's just going by sound, not by sight.
Okay. What time was it?
It was about 7:30 in the morning, which is, for burglaries, a little odd because most people, you know, are home. And, you know, some people have left for work, but now with school getting out, daytime things really should quiet down because there's a lot more people home. You know, we'll probably start seeing a little bit more of the mischief type of activity in the evening now that schools are out. Good idea, but yeah, we kind of thought of
I
that.
got one more question. You took your gun for evidence. How long after something like this happens will the victim get the weapon back?
It really depends if there's a prosecution. Should we recover a print or link somebody to it and there's an arrest, then it will be held until the state attorney releases it. So there's really no time limit on that. You know, they won't give up any evidence until the trial is complete. Then sometimes it'll take a while beyond that, in case there could be appeals or something. So and there's no definite time limit on things like that. You just can't come up with it off the cuff answer.
Seem to have several in progress today also. Was one just, one past couple of meetings versus one down on the south end?
Just as I was walking over here, going out off of Cranberry, it was reported as a burglary. I don't know if that's what it actually was because the car that they described was still there. The people were inside of the house and there is an apartment on the side of the house. One of your officers was familiar with it as he was responding in it. There's a side apartment, so. If it was a burglary, they caught him. But if it's the people that live there, you know, if somebody called it in that way, you know, we still respond that way, and if it isn't a crime, then, you know, we'll not ratchet it down a little bit. Okay? Anything?
Nope.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Not at all.
All right, we'll move into administrative reports. First one up is financial.
full financial report was published in the newsletter. If you haven't seen it, it's there. We have a bank balance of just a hair over $2,000 spending down. We have about $40 in a PayPal account for online donations. We've had a few since we opened up the website with the online donate button. And money sits there until we pull it out. And that's about it for the financial report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of the financial officer? Next up, we're going to get a, go ahead, Steve.
And we also need $22 on the website for the gas.
Okay.
We can't pull that from us until we get up to 50. So right now we're at 40.
You got $22 from just little cookies?
Just last month.
Oh, cool. Everybody must be clicking on those ads on the website.
Very good.
The Google ads there. Even if you don't want to buy the stuff, just click on it, look at the page, and then go do something else.
Put a few more pennies in our coffer, absolutely. Very good.
Thank you, Steve.
Now we'll have a report from our media liaison, Mr. Wilmer.
Oh, wait.
Thank you.
Good, slow. So hopefully everybody's aware we're getting an article in the North Florida Sun monthly. And in addition to that, we're also looking into community radio. I met with the production gentleman over at KDWR Radio. They're on internet streaming right now. We're going to be going over to 96.5 FM about mid-July. So we're going to try to get a half-an-hour news show on that station. And also, the board has approved a video program for the watch. And these videos we put on YouTube. Basically, the videos will be broken down into crime prevention tips and interviews with the membership. We try to give the community a little view of what makes up our organization, who people are, and what they do. So after this meeting, if I can have the board of directors, any block captains that are here, and anyone that's in on any programs, the Child ND program, anything like that, if you can sign up for these video programs, it's going to be short, 15 minutes per person. I've got 3 different days laid out. So if you just show up, do a quick interview, I've got mock interview questions, nothing too in-depth. I would appreciate it. Any questions? And two, if anyone wants to help me with this, I'd appreciate it. Best way to contact me would be email.
Your PSA was pretty nice.
Thank you.
Very good.
Hopefully we can get some more programs like that out there so people can know what we're doing.
Most professionals, all your projects here.
Steve, I want to thank him for doing such a wonderful job.
Yep. Good job, Steve. Okay, next we are going to have a report from our secretary on the upcoming election process. Ms. Rita?
Well, I guess everybody's aware that the election is coming up in September for one position, the watch manager. It is at this membership meeting that I let everybody know how that process goes. At the August, of course, we don't have a membership meeting in July. So at the August membership meeting, any member in good standing may be nominated by another watch member or may nominate him or herself for the position. All of this is written out, spelled out in the bylaws. And then at the September membership meeting is the vote. And if there's only one candidate for the position, then the candidate will be recorded as the winner of the election. If there's more than one candidate, the election controller will collect and tally the votes and announce the winner. If there are no candidates for a position, then the board of directors will appoint a member to those duties until someone is willing and able to fill that position. At the September meeting, at the election results, the new member will assume the responsibility of their new position immediately upon the adjournment of the meeting. Now, having said all of that, I'll let you know that the bylaw review and nominating committee has made some recommendations to the board. And the board's reviewing several of the ideas on the restructuring and new distribution of duties, namely separating the administration portion of the current watch manager duties and portioning out to the other board members. The watch manager position is a huge position. It's a full-time, time-and-a-half job. To be able to better handle both the administration end of it, those duties being portioned out to other board members, and other board members that are currently on the board have talked about this. This is all up for review and discussion, suggestions, ideas, that allows the watch manager, operation coordinator, to better focus on the patrolling end and the operations end of the watch. With all of that said, again, this is all up for review, for discussion. You're more than welcome to contact the Bylaw Review Committee, the Nominating Committee, get more answers. We'll be publishing more information about what the recommendations are for everybody to be aware of it, for the membership, for the board to take a look at it. With the review of the bylaws, of course, the bylaws were reviewed and approved in 2010. It's a working document. It's constantly changing, just as we're constantly changing. There's a lot about this document that don't even really fit now, because we're looking at different duties for the positions. We're looking at different suggestions and ideas for more directors on the board to help spread some of the duties to some other people. But hey, we're all out there waiting for some suggestions, ideas from everybody, and we're listening. We've got our ears wide open. There might be some other people here that's on the Bylaw Review Committee that wants to add to this, or I guess we're going to open it up for question and answers if anybody has any questions.
Just for clarification, the reason we're bringing this to your attention now, even though it's under consideration, is that it's a significant enough change that we believe that maybe some folks who would not consider a leadership job because it was a board position, might be willing or more apt to consider this position when they realize that it's no longer a voting member of the board. The operations person, whoever that is, whatever title is agreed upon at the end, would report to the board, would answer to the board, but would be specifically dedicating 100% of his or her time to focusing on patrolling, training, all those things that 90% of you join the watch to participate in. So we feel that it's time to really have someone allowed to focus of the time that's required in that area. So that's why, maybe some of you said, hey, I would have been watch manager as long as it wasn't a board position. Well, now will be your opportunity, if it's approved. Again, we have Marty and Rick Amos, both members of the Bylaw Review Committee here. And if you have any questions, the board members or these two gentlemen, I'm sure, will make every attempt to answer them to your satisfaction. Are there any questions about what we're throwing out to you right now? It's a work in progress. You all recognize that when the bylaws, the final changes are presented to the board will review them, and if they're happy with them, they will make a recommendation back to the membership. The recommendation will be to accept the changes. If the membership says no, then the board will direct the bylaw committee to go back and work on those areas that the membership feels are not inappropriately revised. So that's how the process will work. Okay? Any questions? Okay. If not, we'll move on to committee reports. Are there any? Oops, I'm sorry.
I have a comment.
Yes, Rick.
Just for clarification, I think that the Bylaws Review Committee is we're looking at making a position, this administrative position on the board in lieu of the watch manager's position.
Right.
So if anybody is interested in that, I think that position is going to be more of the face of the Northport Neighborhood Watch in the community. This would be the person who is going to be representing us to businesses and other nonprofits and Chamber of Commerce, this type of thing. And that's our view anyway. I mean, that's our view of what the Neighborhood Watch possible changes would be, so would add that position, which is an administrative position.
Right. But right now, we're just trying to let the folks know that in August, when they're looking or thinking about nominating somebody, or if they want to nominate themselves, that the position that they're running for is very likely to be a very different one than it is currently today.
And I'm taking nominations or letter of intents up to August 22nd, as per the bylaws currently, to be eligible to run for the office.
Anything else?
Is it just the manager that's going to be reelected?
Yes.
Not none of you guys?
None of the positions are up this year, no.
All right, can you be reelected?
I am not actively seeking the nomination.
Okay.
I made that clear at the last meeting.
The City Watch Manager is a 2-year term, not to exceed 2 consecutive terms. That's as per the bylaws. The review committee is also looking at, since all of the other positions, there is no term limit, with the watch manager / operations coordinator, making that possibly a no-term limit too, since it's also going to be elected by the people, but no voting rights on the board.
So the rest of the panel then would be only, if you decide you wanted to drop out of that nature, be somebody else in the village. Right? In other words, if any one of you say, oh, I had enough at this point, working long enough, I want to get out. So you got to have somebody fill that spot, right?
Well, as per the bylaws, there are provisions for that the board can appoint a position if somebody decides to resign. That is addressed in the bylaws.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
I understand. You have any more? I don't know. Good.
Any committee Are there any committee reports?
Oh, yeah, I got two.
Under committees? I had you on the upcoming events, but if you want to move it up to here, okay.
Well, I'll save the event committee report for them, but, on the funding committee side.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Put a notice in the newsletter. There are 3 small local grant opportunities coming up towards the end of the summer, early fall. Heron Creek subdivision, Development Country Clubs, Plantation, all have little community foundations and they give money to the community. A couple $100 to several $1,000. What we need, though, is an idea for what do we want the money for. Nobody funds day-to-day operations. Nobody pays the light bill, nobody pays for the insurance, nobody pays for stuff like that. We need a project, an idea, something that we want to do as an organization, and go ask for some money to help make it happen. So if you've got some ideas, please let me know between now and August. Okay? My plan is August 2nd, when we have our meeting then, is to take any ideas that have been presented to me, present those ideas to you as a group, and as a group we'll kind of decide what we want to go after or not go after. So it'll be a group decision.
Didn't you say the child ID machine needs to be upgraded?
We have a grant request in right now.
Already.
With the Gulf Coast Community Foundation to upgrade to all digital video equipment. We should hear back from them sometime before the on or about the 21st or 22nd of June. That's when they make their decision. So we've got our fingers crossed on that. Okay, also on fundraising, the business cards have come in. These are generic business cards, and there's bundles of 15 laying on the desk up here. The intent of getting those for the organization was so every member can have a business card for the Neighborhood Watch. It doesn't say who you are, it doesn't say who we are, it's just got our generic post office address and the main phone number and the main email address. But if you're going to be out in the community and interacting with your neighbors, it's really nice to have a card you can hand them. And if you want to jot your own personal information on the back of the card, you can do that. But at least you have a business card you can hand out. They're up here, they're bought and paid for. Grab a bundle or two, use them as much as you would like. And there's also brochures up here for the Neighborhood Watch program and the Child ID program. Grab one, take some with you. And it doesn't do any good to not leave something with somebody you need to talk to. It's an opportunity to promote the watch, get new members in here, get donations in here from the community. You know, if you can't volunteer your time, give us a few bucks. Do something to help the community.
Thank you. Any other committee reports?
I just have one thing. Got 3 applications in tonight, and I'm very happy to have you. Hope you do your ride-alongs right away and get back to us. And is there a Patricia Simotes here? Hi, Patricia. I haven't received your application yet. I'm looking for it. Yes.
The application.
Your application?
Application.
Wasn't it?
No, she one of them.
Thought she was-
No. Oh, it's Cropper. Oh, Patricia.
Do you have a different last name, Patricia Cropper, or
Simonides?
do you go by that? So there's... Okay, so...
Okay, so it's the same person. Okay, all right. Just get your ride-along in and... Yeah.
Okay.
And outside of welcoming our one new member here tonight, we hope to see a lot more. Thank you.
Just so you all aware, the Marcuses are moving back to Sarasota. So we have lost our social committee. They did a lot of wonderful things for us in terms of the Christmas party and stuff like that. So we've already started knocking on doors and talking to people, trying to get folks to step up to take on that responsibility. Because quite frankly, if we don't have a group of folks who are willing to do that, then you can pretty much say goodbye to your Christmas party and your picnics, because the board's not going to do it. Okay, it's your stuff, and we expect you guys and gals to help out, and that's one of the areas we really, really think that you need to jump up and help us out with, and that's to do the social stuff. So think about it, please. I know some wives are being poked, even though they're not members, and asked to please consider coming on in some capacity to give us a hand. So if you enjoy working with people and helping them have a good time, then please consider signing up as a member of our social committee.
Just until we can find someone to fill that position, I will take it in the interim. If there's someone left out, wonderful. But it would be nice to have a male and female do it because of interaction with the other.
All right. Well, as we, we'll thank you, Terry. In the meantime, let's, anybody who really wants to get involved, talk to Terry. Maybe, if we can get 2 people right away out of the get-go here, and she won't have to worry taking on, wear another hat. She always does a lot with the child ID. So, okay.
On the child ID, Rich, can I go now?
Please.
We have all the schedule made up for the 3 months of the child ID video at the Mullen Center. This would be for the
Summer camp.
Okay.
And the one for Monday, June the 11th, has been rescheduled for the 18th. And I have out there on the desk, there's a schedule for July and August. And Keith, do you have anything more?
August 11th, we were scheduled back to the after-school resource fair.
Morgan Center, right? That would be August the 11th at the Morgan Center for back-to-school resources.
They've advertised us in their flyers.
And they have advertised us in their flyers.
And we had that on the website, the dates?
For the child ID at the Mullen Center, yes, but
I don't think that was after-school resource fair.
Okay, shoot Steve an email so he can get that on that calendar.
while I'm at it, while I have my mouth open, I think that we should, as being one of the original members here, I have a right to say this, that we are so lucky to have had Rich, Rita, Mina, Paul,
And Steve, all of you here, that goes back, 10 years now. And how fortunate we are that you've hung in there to make Neighborhood Watch what it is today. So I thank you myself, and hopefully the rest of the group will do the same.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, any of the block captains have anything to say tonight? Anything to report? John?
We had a meeting on May 22nd. Excuse me, 11 people there. Most of them were block captains. We had about two chief patrollers, and Lieutenant Lorenz. And it was a good meeting. A lot of stuff was talked about. We went over a lot of patrolling and some problems Sharon had as somebody who broke in her house. And then we talked about getting more patrollers, and Lieutenant Lorenz kind of offered that he would help us set up maybe a table in different locations on a Saturday morning, and where we could be like in front of Publix and 7-Eleven and Walgreens, and try and recruit some members. So I went out and talked to the people at Publix, and they have to go corporate with that, but I left all the information there. Walgreens said we can come in anytime, all you have to do is call him. I had his name. And 7-Eleven fella never got back to me. So Lieutenant Lorenz, we're trying to get him to go along with us. So since I'll be leaving the area for a couple of months, I'd like to leave this information with the block captains over here, like with Fred and with Cecil, and I don't know anybody else from 2. Oh yeah, everybody from 2. Maybe we can push this thing and we can set up something and go. Publix will do it, but we have to get has to go through a corporate to get it approved. So it was a good meeting. 11 people. It wasn't bad.
Good, good. Recruiting will be one of the topics we discuss at the block captain meeting tonight. Okay. Anything else from the block captains? Thanks, John. Upcoming events. We got one in July that Mr. Paul's going to talk about.
Yeah, July 4th, we have no meeting here, Rich already announced that. The Watch is going to be participating in the city's 4th of July Freedom Festival festivities at the North Port High School. I've got myself, Marty, Bill and Betty Peterson, Rita, Jack Rothenberg. Jack's not here tonight, is he?
No.
And Russell, he's not here.
No.
So, Steve, you weren't part of that, were you? Okay. Okay, I wasn't sure. But we got plenty of people to participate, and instead of just having a booth or being stuck off in a corner someplace and hope somebody comes over and talks to us, we're actually going to be running the second stage events or activities for the festival. We've got a main stage with a featured performer that will be there most of the night. And there's a second stage that has some local acts that will be on it, and towards the end of the evening, we're going to host 3 contests. A bubblegum blowing contest. This wasn't my idea, this was the city's. A spaghetti eating contest and a hot dog eating contest. But we're front and center on that stage. I mean, we're running the show, we're out there in front of the public, and they'll see us doing something for the community. So this is a big departure from what the Watch has done before. I appreciate the volunteers that stepped forward to help, and I think we're going to have a heck of a good time. And I encourage everybody to please come. Wear your shirt, show the colors. Come to the Freedom Festival. It's from 6 to 9. It's followed by fireworks. It's at the North Port High School. So show your support. We also got a thank you card from the Parks and Recreation Department for helping them with their car parking activities on May 12th. We went out there and helped get the cars parked in the right place. And I want to thank personally Jack Rothenberger again, Marty, Russell, who's not here, and Steve Bopegna. For helping out with that event. You guys did a great job out there. It was hot, miserable, and you all kept a smile, and no cars ran into other cars. So we did good. Thank you.
Okay, we got a couple other dates you ought to put on your calendars, please. You just heard tonight from Lieutenant Fitzpatrick. Tuesday, August 7th, 6 to 9, National Night Out. The Watch has been a presence there for as long as I've been a member. So even though we don't have a meeting next month, there's going to have to be some planning going on behind the scenes. We're going to have to set up another contact, because I'm leaving the state the 30th of June and plan on being gone for 3 weeks. So I probably won't have a lot of time when I come back in those 2 weeks to do a lot of running around trying to get this done. So I'm going to need a name of person. If I do get contacted, I can throw the information out of that person. Obviously, we do the child ID. That's something we always do. That's a given. Last year, the Marcuses and Bill Ringer cooked hot dogs again. I don't know if we'll be doing that this year. I know the police department has got another group asking to be able to participate at some level. So we definitely should probably have maybe piggyback our information booth with the child ID, since there is a lot of traffic to that area. And then if we end up doing hot dogs again, whatever that process was. Without the Marcuses here, I don't know. I wasn't part of it as far as who supplied the hot dogs and buns and all the stuff. I know we supplied the manpower, the fire department supplied the cooker. But after that, we're going to have to try and get some answers. But that's a date that we will participate at some level. And then you heard just now, also Saturday, August 11th, the back-to-school resource fair. That's something we've done for at least 2 years that I'm familiar with, and maybe 3. I mean, those are the ones I really know have been a lot of publicity, that we've probably done a lot more than that. It was probably called something, it may have been called something before that, but I don't recall it being, but anyway. But again, it's a big event. It's a big event, and we're always a presence there.
Is that going to be in Heron Creek again?
No, I thought you said it's going to be down at the Morgan Center.
Oh, okay.
At the Morgan Center. Okay? All right. Old business. Some time ago, during one of our board meetings, it was brought to all our attention that while doing an inventory of our warehouse or our storage facility, we came across a bunch of stuff that we felt was doing absolutely no one any good by sitting in boxes in the area, gathering dust. So we put our heads together and said, okay, what are we going to do with this stuff? Well, we looked at it and saw what it was and said, it's time that we started attempting to have a recognition program. So our first attempt, and again, there'll probably be an ongoing process where maybe it will change over time, but our first attempt is going to be to recognize folks who have just hit their 5-year anniversary, or just recently hit their 5-year anniversary, because we have stuff that says 5-year members. So we felt it was appropriate. We'll start with those folks. We also have some things that say 8-year member. So we're going to recognize those folks that have their 8 years in. And then we covered some extra stuff. We had some extra things for folks who have 10 years in. So we're going to recognize tonight folks with 5 years, 8 years, and 10 years. We hope to be able to do this going forward. We probably in the future will do like, 5, 10, 15, 20, that type of stuff, and find ways to recognize folks who stay active over a long period of time. So tonight, and I'm going to ask the rest of the board to come with me down to the floor, and we're going to call you up and present you with a small token of the Watchers' appreciation for your tenure, and ask that everybody hold their applause for the group. When the 5 years are all done, you can applaud all at one time for the 8 years and the 10 years, etc. We went by our records best as possible. So, if there's a dispute about the years, take it up with us later, please. But right now, based on what we found in our records, we think it's pretty accurate. So, folks, you want to join me forward here so we can congratulate these folks? And Rick, Dick, if you want to bring the microphone up so everybody can hear me. I'm sure they can hear me anyway, because I've got a big mouth. But we want to make sure it's recorded. Okay. Thank you, sir. All right, so in no particular order, folks with recently hit their 5-year anniversary. Hang on a second. As you can see, I'm well prepared. Okay. Prince Zander.
We get all 5 years.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please don't use the cup first.
Well, it just...
This time
Yeah. First time.
Rita Philbrick.
Ooh.
Cheryl Cook.
Thank you very much, Cheryl.
John Pravdika.
Wait, Dave, before he goes home.
My line.
Okay.
I draw the line after the handshake. Congratulations.
All right, but 8 years. 8 years, you have a choice, because I know some of you probably got these. You have a choice. You can get an 8-year portfolio that says 8-year member on it, or Neighborhood Watch Company. So, as you come up, just let us know, and we'll give you the right one. So, first one on the list I have,
Bill Ringer.
I just bought a couple last month, so I'll take
Very good. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Bill.
Thank you. Yeah, Joe, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Cecil Archibald.
What do you want before you get here?
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Thanks, just a coffee.
Maria Archibald.
Hi, lots of
Righty. No, that's okay.
Rocky.
Yeah.
For our records, it's only 8, we'll talk about it. Where do you want, which one?
I got one.
Okay. All right. There you go, sir.
Congratulations.
And I was on the list too, so I'm gonna take a coffee cup, because I already had one of these. Portfolios. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. Okay, now, 10 years.
Keith Kepner.
How about we go to you?
We'll come to this. Yeah. We,
Again, as I said, we had stuff sitting around that wasn't doing anybody any good. So we felt that these were appropriate for folks who had their 10 years in. So it's a personal first aid kit, use around the house, in your car, whatever. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And last but not least, at 10 years, Mr. Donald Sundin.
You know what this means, though? Don, you know what this means? You might go home, play doctor, and you get the birthday.
We're going to, in another couple of years, we're going to have some folks that will have obtained 15 years with a watch. So hopefully by then, we're going to be able to do something special for these folks. But 10 years is quite a milestone, because we've only been in existence 11. No, excuse me, we've been in existence 13. Coming up on 13. 1999, I believe, was when it was formed. So that'll be 13 years this year. So, yeah, we got some folks, a couple left, I think. There's only 2 of the original members left. Terry's one of them, and Bill Scarborough is one of the other ones. And Bill and Lois are our winter folks, basically. They come in off and on, so they'll fly in. You'll see them for a couple of weeks, and then you don't see them again. But and Joseph Stan Jones, also, who's not here tonight, has 10 years in. These folks that were contacted and invited to the meeting tonight, as were some of the other folks on the list who didn't make it. But we will try and catch up with them. If you all think this is worthwhile, please let us know, so that we can continue to find a way to make this happen for everybody. So something that everybody can look forward to. That if you stay active, meet a certain criteria, come to meetings, do a few patrols, you'll also be recognized by your peers. So how about a big round of applause for everybody who's been here for some time?
No, it's not. Okay. Continue with the meeting. I'll clean up all this mess afterwards. Yeah, I know.
I tested all the pens, they did work. But I tell you,
Worked the last time you used it.
they worked the last, yeah, they worked the other day when I tested. Okay. Is there any new business to come before the membership? Anything we've forgotten, anything that should have been discussed that wasn't? If not, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second? Okay. Mina made the motion, Terry seconded it. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Yep. Yep, we'll have the block captains, please remain. Turn off the microphone. All you gotta do, Ron.